AP Calculus, AB. This is Notes 2.5. We're on part 5 of 5. In this part, we're going to examine a prompt where you're given the graph of the derivative, and you have to answer various questions about the original function based upon that. Pictured is the graph of p prime of x, the derivative of a polynomial function. Since it's a polynomial function, that tells us it's continuous. Continuity is an important concept. Use the graph to answer these questions. On what interval is the graph of p of x decreasing? Well, p of x is decreasing anytime p prime is negative. P prime is negative all through here. It's negative between -3 and 0, and between 0 and +3. Let's justify our answer. I'm going to give the justification first. P prime of x is less than 0, which means it's negative, on the interval from -3 to 0 in union with 0 to 3. Therefore, p of x is decreasing on these intervals. Reason I like saying on these intervals better than repeating the intervals is that you might miswrite one of these numbers and you're going to lose points. So done on what intervals, justify, we got both of those things done. On what intervals is p of x increasing? Justify your answer. Well, p of x is increasing anytime p of x is positive. P of x is positive to the left of -3 and to the right of +3. So we could say that p prime of x is greater than 0 from -infinity to -3, and again from 3 to +infinity. Therefore, p of x is increasing on these intervals. '23. At what value or values of x does the graph of p of x reach a relative maximum? Justify your answer. Well, just like for the other problems we've done in this section, in this review, anytime p prime changes from positive to negative, then p is going to have a relative maximum. So without even looking at the graph, I can write the structure for this. P prime of x changes from positive to negative at, now where does this happen? It's positive here and it's negative here. It only happens in one place, at x equals -3. Therefore, p of x has a relative maximum at x equals -3. I could say at this x value, but this is less words for me, so I'm going to write this. 24, at what x values does the graph reach a relative minimum? So for this, without even looking at the graph, I would say p of x changes, this is my justification, from negative to positive at, and look at the graph and see where it happens. Let's change my f here. My f's pretty bad. It's not much better. This changes from negative to positive here. At x equals 3, p prime changes from negative to positive. Therefore, p of x has a relative minimum at x equals 3. Last one. Approximate the value of p of 1.8 using the tangent line approximation if p of 2 is negative 3. In order to do this, we need a point of tangency and a slope of tangency. Point of tangency, we're told, is 2, negative 3. This is just a fancy way to give that point. Slope of tangency, let's look at our graph. I'm just going to bring the graph down here so we can see it beside the question. At 2, here is 2. At this place right here, this is the ordered pair 2, negative 4. This is x, and this is p prime of x, which means at this x value, this is the slope that we're supposed to use. So p prime of 2 is equal to negative 4. Just going to make a note. This is from the graph. If you have a point of tangency and a slope of tangency, you can make a tangent line. It's y minus y sub 1 equals the slope times the difference of x and x sub 1. The question didn't ask us to make the tangent line, but we had to make the tangent line to do this. We're supposed to approximate the value of p of 1.8. So using this tangent line, we're going to approximate y plus 3 is negative 4 times 1.8 minus 2. Going to subtract 3 from both sides and subtract 2 from 1.8. Now, if you wanted to stop right here and say, this is my approximation, you're allowed to do that. If it's multiple choice, probably not going to work out well, but if it's a free response question, you could stop and say, this is the approximation. This calculation is relatively simple, so we'll continue. 2 times 4 is 8. There's a decimal here of a tenth, so it's going to be 0.8. A negative times a negative is a positive, so it's 0.8 minus 3, going to get negative 2.2. If you're thinking, I cannot do that in my head, and this is a non-calculator part, just use this for the answer, it's fine. We haven't officially answered the question. P of 1.8 is approximately negative 2.2. Or if you prefer, it's approximately this. Doesn't say to tell us if it's an over or under approximation. Doesn't tell us about the concavity. So we could stop. We are finished with these notes, and hopefully you all are ready for your test. Thank you very much.